the course to be in. And as always, I will give let me do hello all. Will give the attendance at the end. Oh, it is going now. Sometimes I'm get worried. Okay, so yeah, so it is going fine. So nowadays streaming platform is having a lot of issues. I don't know why. So as I'm told, we'll give the attendance at the end, and welcome to the day 2. And so we are going to continue on our Node.js journey, and you will learn how to be a backend developer or a full stack developer. Okay, I'm good, Aditya. Happy you are here. And let me share my screen, and we will first complete the thing which we have were doing yesterday. We have left with the debugger, and we are going to do that, and then we are going to move ahead and learn about async javascript a bit, because that is very much important in Node.js. Async javascript is very much important in Node.js. You need to learn about the promises and all those things. Okay, so that we are going to do. And I'm sharing my screen. So this is what we have created yesterday. And it is means it is actually complete, means this is all this complete. So but one thing was remaining. As I was telling, this app was completed, that node app, it was complete, but the thing which was remaining is was that I have told you that we are going to use debugger. We are going to use debugger here. So how to use a debugger in Node.js? This is a very important topic. How to use debugger? A lot of people don't know. One thing you can do a console.log every time, but there is something known as debugger also, which actually freezes the program at that point. And debugger is a very important thing, and a lot of people love that debugger. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, Aditya, Pashupaliti, Tejas, Shreya, Shrey. Welcome all. So we are going to learn about debugger. So how we are going to learn about debugger? Suppose I want to know what's the status in bigger program. Debugger is always required. Suppose I want to know what's the status of the program when it ran here. So one way is to do a console log here, console.log, and that thing. But the another way is there, which is debugger. So I don't teach Python. There are no jobs in Python. So actually the main goal of this website, this YouTube channel, is to get you a high paying job. So Python, there are no job. So there is no need to means teach a Python. Is there? If there are no job, you will just learn and you will do nothing. Means why? What is the need? If you're going to be a going for machine learning, go for Python. But for backend, Django is not that much good. Django Flask are not that much good, and Node.js is used mainly in the backend. So no need to miss. That's why I'm not going to teach Python. If there are no jobs, then it is no need, means because of the main aim of this YouTube channel is to get you a high paying web app developer job. See, this is the fourth week. This is the fourth week actually, and I'm teaching Node.js, but I mainly teach front end technologies. So back end technology I don't do that much. But those who don't know, this is the fourth week, and fourth week I teach anything which is a bit addition to what I teach. I generally teach the first week is CSS week of every month. Second week is JavaScript week. Third week is React.js week, and the fourth week can be anything. The in the month of November, when I started doing this thing, the first week last week was Redux at that time, which is sometime complementary with React. The second time in December I taught Angular, and this time I'm teaching Node.js. And next time I have already thought what to teach. Next time I'm going to teach Next.js in the fourth week. So that is there. Next.js is a very good JavaScript React.js framework, which is means like React.js only, but even faster than React.js, because it is known as server side rendering. And this that is a really cool thing. Next.js, nowadays you'll find a lot of things which have been done with Next.js. People don't create a normal React app, they create a Next.js app, and that is also front end technology sort of, but that is much more advanced, and that is much more used nowadays. If you have Next.js in your resume, you definitely get a very good job. Okay, so Next.js is last week of February. Right, so that is there. Next.js certification. Everything is certification on my channel. Most of the videos are certification. This is also certification. Okay, so yeah, Next.js is a very awesome thing. Okay, so I'm preparing the course for that because those things require me to prepare some course. Okay, so that thing is that I have added the debugger here. So what is this debugger? So now how to run this debugger? So I have in this project node simple project, and here I will do node inspect. I have to do this inspect, and then index.js is there, inspect index.js, and find, because I have added this in find. Your Python no job is there. Those who there is a very important, very popular channel, Clever program. I think most of you know about it. That is run by Kazi or someone like that. So that he started with Python, means he started with Python, but now the channel has completely changed to React. Completely changed to React because there are no jobs in Python, and he also doesn't do much Python nowadays, because actually there is no job in Python. Python people think it's very easy, but it is not even scalable. No startup will touch Python because the Python, the problem is that the Python backend Django and Flask are very slow, literally very slow. One of my client is using Django and Flask, and I know that how much slow it is in real production level level thing. See, in the backend thing, number one in Java, and nobody can means take that crown from Java. Java is the fastest backend thing in the world because it can do multi-threading. Even Node.js doesn't come close to it, but Node.js is the second best after Java. And Java is very tough to learn. So all the startups in their scaling phase, so understand this thing, in their scaling phase, till they become Flipkart, they will use Node.js. Once they become Flipkart, they switch their backend to Java, because the Flipkart level of the things, apps, they cannot take that many connection at one time. So the small startups, they will always use Node.js. Small startups and even medium range projects will always use Node.js. Nobody touches Django, and nobody even touches PHP. I was today, means I'm going off topic, but a lot of in the tier 3 cities, tier 2 cities, a lot of PHP development is done because the government jobs are in that. A guy was asking me, and this I should do later on, but PHP is also like that. You go to any government site, how slow it is because of PHP only. Okay, so that is something about backend. I mainly concentrate on the front end part, but then also I know a lot of backend because I am full stack developer. Okay, so that is there. So I was telling that how to run this debugger. So node inspect. I have to use this inspect command, and then this index.js and find, because I am finding it, as we have seen earlier yesterday, that find, if I want to run find, so this I would give the second thing as find. Okay, so find I have to give, and then maybe uh, first let me do let me show that whether it index okay, index.js, node index.js. Let me see how, what are the files. So let me see whether it is working or not. List, these are the files are there. Okay, so this is working fine, which we completed yesterday. If you don't know what I'm doing, you can go to the yesterday's class, it is there. Okay, inspect is there, and then so I have to use this inspect word. Okay, index.js, and my debugger is in this find nodes. In this, the debugger is there. So index.js I have to do, and then after that I have to do the same command. Only the thing which is different is that I have to use this inspect before this. So inspect I will do find, and title, let us give anything which is really there. So it is node.js title is there, and do it. See, a different kind of thing has run, and I am getting this debug. So but where to find this debug? And to find the debug is I have to use the Chrome only. So Chrome is required, and nothing else can be used. Why? Because Node.js is made on V8 engine. There is a V8 engine. If you want to go through that, V8 engine is something in which Chrome is also built. So a lot of technology of Node.js is taken from Chrome. So a lot of technologies is taken from there. So that's why we can see this thing, see this debugger thing only in Chrome, no other browser. I mainly use Firefox developer edition, but for this I'm using Node. Okay, so that is there. and you have to open a different kind of a thing known as a Chrome inspect, and do Chrome inspect, and it will open like this. Sometimes it takes a bit of time. Okay, it come. Yeah, so I'm streaming, so I think it is taking more time. So it is opening this thing, inspect. So this inspect I have to click, and this inspect is coming only because I have run this command. Okay, so and it is also showing me, see this, the path it is showing me. I have to run this inspect, and then it will show all the things which is added. And now I have to add this thing, add my folder here, and which is actually what, which is okay, Node Simple. Name is Node Simple. I have to search this. Node Simple is the name. So I have to go here. This is something old which is there. I will remove folder from workspace. Okay. So I have to do this add, because this is the first time only you have to do. And D, it is in YouTube. And yeah, Node Simple. So I have to select this Node Simple. Then okay, it is asking me allow I have to do, and then I have to go to this nodes.js. Where is my debug? Yeah, in the nodes.js, because my debugger is in the nodes.js. See, in the nodes.js my debugger is there, and it is telling me that debugger is paused. It is telling me that debugger is paused. So it means that it is working. Okay, so now how to use a debugger? So this kind of debugger you'll find people using a lot in React.js and all those code. Also you can use a debugger. Okay, so here also you can use a debugger. So debugger, this means it is pause. I will do this and see, it will resume, and it will tell me that okay, this title at this point, the program have a title of node.js, and up in this nodes I have this nodes, and here everything, so everything it will tell me, because it is stuck here in the debugger, it is stuck. Okay, so it will tell me everything. And I can also see the console also here. For that I have to do, so this is a different console, I have to do escape, and it will give me console, what is that in that time. Okay, and I actually want to see what is there in this nodes array. So I can give, I know, tes nodes, press enter, and it will give me what is there in the nodes array, and it is the nodes array contain this thing. So this is how we can use the debugger. And if I now it is showing debugger paused, if I click it, it will be continuing and everything will be done. So this is how programmers actually check what is there. Okay, so this is how debugger is done. And if I go back here, see, it will the debugger has been finished, because now it is not showing anything here. So if I want to again check that thing, I have to do restart here, and I have to close it actually, and I have to go back here, and it will come after some time, but because it is taking some time, it is come again, and I have to do again inspect. But this time my package is already there, so I will go to nodes, and I will again do this, so it will again come here, and I can again check this thing. So this is how, if I want to check it again and all, so I can do this thing, and it is showing all this thing. So this is how debugger works. Okay, this is how debugger works, and I will close it, and it is done. Okay, so that is how debugger works, and this is how the node.js debuggers is there. So you can use it, nobody is stopping you to use the console log, but in bigger companies if you go, you will have to use this debugger. Okay, so most people use this debugger, and it is much more easier to means put this debugger anywhere. You can put this debugger word anywhere, and you can then check it. Okay, so with this all the process which I have told, so this is how debugger is done. Okay, so now, as I've told, today we are going to do async JavaScript. Why async JavaScript? Because this promises and all these things which will be there, which are there, they are part of Async JavaScript, and Async JavaScript is mainly Node.js code. These promises, callbacks, and all these things which you're going to learn soon, they come as a part of Async JavaScript, and that is mainly the server side of a code. So let us do that, and a bit of part of that is in the front end also. So I will tell which part is in the front end. Okay, so let me close this, and okay, so this is done. So okay. So this async JavaScript we are going to do in JSBin. JSBin we are going to do this async JavaScript. Okay, and in JSBin, just JSBin is an online editor in which we can do a lot of things. So here, what I'm going to do, here I'm going to search see this JavaScript and output. So output is like whatever the output is there, it will contain that. Okay, so what is this async JavaScript? See, whenever a API call is been made, so API call we are going to soon learn how to create an API in the next 2-3 days. We're going to learn how to make an API so that like the JSON placeholder, because that is the main thing of a Node.js, and especially the Express.js kind of thing, which is again a library of Node.js, and it helps to create those API very efficiently, which we are going to do. And today at 5 p.m. I created one task app, and that also I've used the Express, and also you all can go through it, or we will go through it in 2 days. So that is there, and all those things means API calls and all those things, they are done through a lot of things like callback thing, promises, and all those things. So we have to learn to do all those things. What is this callback and all those things. So see, as I was telling that Java is the fastest backend language out there because it has got a multi-threading. So when a lot of request comes to a backend thing which is serving Java, which is served through Java, so it spawns different processes, multi-thread processes, and through it is served. Okay, but in JavaScript is a single-threaded language, and Node.js, but even with a single-threaded language, Node.js is way too fast than anything out there, from Python to PHP to everything. PHP is the worst because it's block something. So what happens so when some API call is done in PHP, what happens? The rest of the program is blocked. When some API call goes, the rest of the program is blocked. So that's why it is the slowest out of them. But in JavaScript, what happens? It has also got the single thread like PHP. But when the API call is been done, and it doesn't wait. So the API call is been done. There is something known as event loop. So it happens through that. The API call doesn't stop the program from running in JavaScript. Okay, so we are going to look into it through an example, and we are going to do it through JSBin. Okay, so first thing is that we are going to learn about callbacks, but why we require the callbacks. And callbacks are in JavaScript from the starting from 1995. The callbacks are there. Later in 2015, promises were introduced, and what are they? We are also going to learn about that. So we are going to learn about async JS. Async JS we are going to learn. We're going to learn callback, but before doing that, we'll learn about what is the need for callback. So suppose I have a posts, and which is an array of object. Title is JS basics, and summary is this post contains the basics of JS, like this, and DOM basics. This post contains the basics of DOM. So this is the most common way in which the data is there in a backend, which is an array of objects, which is an array of object. So now I want to show this data. So I will have a function of get posts like this, and but I want to mimic, suppose I want to mimic the API call. So API call, as I've told, it generally takes 1 to 2 seconds depending upon the connection. So what are these APIs? So there are many freely available API, and we have used a lot of them in the past, like the JSON placeholder. Everybody might have used that JSON placeholder in a React code, JavaScript code, and I have also shown them a lot of times. This is a API endpoint and raw data you can see like this, and all these things are there. Okay. Okay, so this is the API endpoint. This is not a normal site, and I know this API endpoint is also made in Node.js. Okay, so this is there. So like this, we are going to, and see here also array of object is coming. So we are going to mimic something like this only. So right now we have not created anything. So we'll use the set timeout function here, and then like this. So set timeout is a JavaScript function in which I can pass the second parameter, which is that after that number of seconds it will run. It is after 1000 milliseconds, which is this 1 second. This whatever is inside it will run. So set timeout is there, and then let output equal to this is there. Then smaller and post dot for each. So not posts, it is posts, this thing. So I'm doing a for each, and for each I have taught a lot of time in the my JavaScript beginners to advanced in the ES6 part. It is there. So I hope everyone has done that. So I will do a post, which I can do anything, and then output is there, output which is now empty string, and then plus equal to, and h4 is like dollar post dot title, and h4 will end here, and p dollar post dot summary, and p will end here. Okay, like this will end here. And so yeah, so what I have just done, so I'm looping through this post and creating a string out of it in output. And what is this string? So let us console log it, and it will be much clear. Console.log output, console.log output, and let me open the console below. And when I will okay, it will not even run because I have to call this get post. I have to call this get post. So I'll call this and run with JS, and it is coming after 1 second. See, so now my output contains this h4p, all those things in one line. So in HTML, what happens, even if something is coming in one line, it we don't have to intend it, we can directly show it. Okay, so I will going to directly show it, and what I am going to do here, I will show it in the body. So body is in the HTML. So body is just empty thing. Okay, so there we are going to show. Here I'm going to do document dot body dot inner HTML equal to output, equal to output. So now if I run this get post, it has become again small. Run this get post, after 1 second it will show me this thing like this, JS basic, and this post is the basic of JS, it will show. So this is normal. So now what I'm going to have, I'm going to have another function create post, like post and set time out. Again I'm going to have a set timeout, and here I'll have 2000 millisecond, which is 2 seconds, and here I'm going to have post dot push post. I'm going to have, okay, so post dot push post I'm doing, and here create, you call this create post, and here inside it I will pass this thing, and async basic is contain post contain the basic of async. I'll do. So I will think, okay, so the get post is run first, and it will show this, and this will after this create post, it is also having a timeout. This is very important thing to know. This is having a 2 second timeout, and post dot push I'm doing. post.push, I'm doing this, whatever post is there, I'm pushing it in this thing. Okay, so if I run it with JS, after 2 seconds, this post is not even shown. Why this is not even shown? Although my post array will contain this thing, but what happened, this get post was run, and then it didn't stop here, and this create post was also done. So both of them has gone, but both of it doesn't stop. So get post has gone here and create post has also gone here, but this get post ran after 1 second and this ran after 2 seconds. By the time it ran, this was already done and my output is coming from here. So that is an issue. My DOM is already painted and it is done. So to solve this issue, what we need to do, we need to do some things, and those things are way to do it. And the first thing to do it is a callback, and this callback thing we use in Node.js code a lot, server side code a lot, this thing. Or else whenever we create this API calls and all those things, we are going to use this callback a lot. And we have after that we'll learn promises also. Nowadays people use promises more than callback. So to solve this issue, we'll use the callback. So first way is the callback. Callback is the first way. Here what I'm going to do, so I will not call this get post like this. I will call a get post a function reference. I'm not calling the complete function, I'm calling a function reference here. So this is a difference. I'm not having that bracket. So when you have those bracket only, so a function runs. So I am calling this get post like this. Okay, so now it has got two parameters. One is another, and I'm just passing a function, and it is industry standard to name it callback. We can name it anything. I'm naming it callback, and because that is a standard. But I'm passing this function here, get post function here. So I'm coming here and the callback, and callback I will call this function like this. Okay, I'm calling this function, and then see again I will run it. After 2 seconds, it is taking 2 seconds, exactly 2 seconds it is taking. Okay, because this is there, the longest one of this is 2 seconds, but now I'm getting this async JS also, because post.push is done. Okay, post.push is done, and after that only means it will run after 2 seconds, but after that only this callback function will be called. So callback function, which is actually the get post, so that is called after that. After this post.push is done, then only the callback is done. So that's why I'm seeing this also. So this is one of the way to solve the issue of our something which takes time. So this is one of the way. Okay, and this all these concepts we are going to use in our Node.js also, this callback thing. And now this was from the starting of JavaScript, this callback thing. And there is something known as callback hell. If you are interested to know more, learn about what is callback hell. There is an issue in which we do more callback, and it will means the code gets complicated pretty soon. So that issue is there. So because of that, in 2015 something known as promises was invented. So promises solve that issue, callback hell, and the code is also, they say that it's a lot more simpler. Maybe you'll find a bit tougher right now, but the code is a lot simple. Okay, and in the long run. So one more thing I want to tell, this much code, actually this much code is will actually in our real app, when we are going to do this kind of code, we will see it in the backend kind of code, and this kind of code we will see in the front end kind of code. And it will be much more clear means in the promises. When let me, and now we are going to go to promises. Yes, when, and again this JavaScript and output I'll do. And so let us copy the whole of the code, because we are going to see how to change it. Now what we're going to do, promises. Okay, so this part will be same, but here there is a new concept known as promises, and we don't have anything like a callback or not. So callback I'll cancel. So, and promises, there are two way to solve it. Okay, so now what will happen, so use the promises concept, and promises are like promise in real life. And you do a promise, you either resolve it or reject it. Just in real life, you either resolve it or reject it. So what I'm going to do here, return new promise. I have to write it like this, return new promise, and then here it will have resolve comma reject. Yeah, pending, fulfilled, and rejected is there. So pending is there, but we're not going to see much of the pending. So, but resolved and rejected. So this fulfilled is also known as it is saying, is so known as resolve also. Okay, so that is there, and so we are returning a promise, and what we are going to do, we are going to move this inside, and this is again a very important interview question also, but it is used a lot in Node.js code also. Okay, so it has got actually three state. Pending is also there, but the main state is like this: fulfilled or resolved and the rejected state. Okay, so what the thing is that I'm returning a promise whenever this create post, I'm returning a promise. Okay, so this promise, what it does, it will not send something like this. When I'm calling this create post function, it will not send something like this. It will return one of the state, and the states are resolved and rejected. So it will either send the resolve or the rejected only. So in this simple program, I cannot make a thing. In complicated program, there are a lot of logic, and after that only resolve and rejected are sent. So in this is a very simple program, so I have to do something to send the resolve or the rejected. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, I'm just create a dummy variable like const num equal to 5. I'll do num equal to 5, and num is greater than 4, which is true. Then it will do resolve, or else it will do reject. So in this case, it will say it will do the resolve error, something is wrong, something is wrong, we are going to type. Now how to catch that thing, how to catch that thing. Okay, so in promise, what happens, there are two ways to, this part will be always same. Okay, and this is mainly, as I've told, this part is mainly the server side code, and this kind of code we are going to have in the Node.js, and this is, maybe you can think of a React.js kind of a code. Okay, so from there we are going to call this API endpoint, and now there are two ways to do it. One is the then and the catch block, which was created in 2015 itself, and then is another way is the async await. You're going to learn of the async await way also, and that is much more modern, and people mix match them, means sometimes they use that, sometimes they use that. So how to do this get post? So in this case, the resolve will be sent. Resolve will be sent because num is greater than this is true, so resolve will be sent. We are just using a ternary operator. So then I'm going to come here, and then we have two things. One is a then block and one is a catch block. Okay, so then and catch is there, then and catch is there. Okay, then and catch is there. So what is there in the then? So then, so when this is done, means post.push is done, then in the then I will call the get post. I'll call the get post like this, and if some error is there, which it is not right there right now, but will soon introduce error, then I will just, we can do anything, but I'm getting some error, so let us show it in the output itself. So document dot body dot inner html equal to color. Oh, I'll do, and if I run it with JS, after 2 seconds everything will come as usual. So this is how the promises work, and now let me make it 4, because the then, when resolve was sent, then the then block was executed. But if the reject is sent, suppose in this case 4 is greater than 4 is not true, so the reject will be sent. Whenever the reject is sent, it is caught by the catch block. Okay, so again I will run, and it will caught by the catch block, and it is saying me error, something is wrong. So that is how it is work. Okay, so let me convert it back to 5. So this is sync weight of promises. So there is another way to do this, which is much more modern, and which is known as we are going to use promises only, but the thing is that we are going to use async await, and this async await thing is very very important, which you are soon going to see. Means and async await. See, this promise thing will be remaining like this only, But the thing is that we are going to change this now, means we are going to not call this then, and catch block is not there. So the main thing is that in async await we have the async await keyword, but we cannot call it like this. We have to wrap it in a function init I'll do, and I will have it here, function init I'll do, and I have it here. Now I will call the init function from here, but where is the get post? So get post I will call it here. After this get posts I will just call it here. But now since this operation takes time, and here we are using the done and the catch block, so here what we are going to use, here we are going to use async await. So whenever we are going to have to use await, the function containing it, we have to create it as async. So I will do it async like this, and then this is await like this, this is await like this, and async like this. Okay, this is done. Then I will just run it with JS and it will be working like that. So async await is works like this. Also whatever you have to do, you have to make that whatever the function containing, you have to create a function. So init or anything you can create, init is not required. So any function you create, and you can make, you have to make that function as async, and then whatever requires some time, some API call. So this is also mimicking an API call. You have to add the keyword await in front of it, so it will await till this is finished, then only this get post will be run. So this is how async await works. Okay, so this is how async await works. Okay, so now the thing is that we are going to learn about another thing. Okay, so that is okay, before that let me gives today we might complete a bit early. Sometimes we come because complete a bit early also. So I will give the attendance form. Okay, I prepare async await. Mark your attendance here. So second attendance you have to mark it here. So mark your attendance here. Okay, that is there. And please do subscribe to my channel if you're not done it. I'm doing a lot for the community, so please do subscribe and like this video so it can reach to more people. Okay, so that is done. And what we are going to do learn next is something known as promise.all. So this promise.all is actually used a lot in node.js programming. Promise.all in advanced kind of programming, this promise.all is used a lot. So async js promise.all I'll do, and here we are going to have a lot of promises. And what is this promise.all? We'll understand. Const promise, what is promise 1 equal to promise dot resolve. So we can also, we'll use some of the short form of this. So direct also we can show this. So eat I'll do is see. So const promise to equal to new promise, and we can do it like this also. Resolve rechecked and set time out resolve 2000 and 4. Okay, so this is the fourth one. And so I have all these 4 promises. These 2 are running instantaneously, and this is running after 3 seconds, and this is running after 2 seconds. So this is also a short form in which you can give this. Okay, so then there is something known as promise.all, and promise.all means we can change the promises, and the result will be shown only once the slowest one is also completed. So for that promise.all you have to check, this is a special kind of thing, and you have to pass an array. All these promises you have to pass in an array. Promise 1 comma promise 2 comma promise t comma promise 4 and then dot, then values is document dot body dot inner html equal to values. Yeah, I'm going to give. Okay, so this values is nothing, whatever is coming from here, this eat and this thing. So I'll run it. See, it will take some time. It will take 3 seconds to be precise, at least 3 seconds. Yeah, 3 seconds it will take, and after that it will come in the order. So that is what is known as promise.all. So this is how it is come. So it will coming in that order only once the slowest one is also done. So this is known as promise.all. So this is done, and we are going to see one real example of async await. Actually, that is not to be done with the means, that is not related to node.js. It is more related to front end like javascript and your react. But then also, if we are doing this mainly this async await, we should know means how this is used in the front end, and this is a small thing. So I want to conclude today with that, because today we are not going to means able to do much after this, because I want to mm, uh, use this async JS to create a project, and that we'll do tomorrow. And I want to also teach templating. So there is something known as templating. So that templating means you don't even require a front end code. There is some languages known as templating, like mustache is a language, then handlebar is a language. So those kind of languages, what happens, they you don't need a react code. So you can create the html completely from them. But although I don't means I don't see more people using it, but if it's a simple thing, sometime you can do it there. And the benefit of it, that it is done in the server side, and once something is done in the server side, it is 100% faster than if something is done in the client side. React code mostly that runs on the client means the web browser, not in the some server it runs in the web browser it runs. So that is one of the reason the next.js is coming so much, and next.js is becoming so much popular. It's the react.js framework which runs on the server, which runs on the those big servers like Amazon and all. Those are big servers. It will run on those servers, and that's why the code is much more bigger, much more faster than React code. Also, Next.js is 10 times faster than React code. React is itself is very fast, but the problem with that is that it runs on the client side. It runs on the person's browser. Next.js directly runs on the server. That's why also Next.js is gaining a lot of thing, a lot of benefit, and lot of prominence it is getting. And Next.js is used nowadays a lot, but it is completely means it is totally same to React. Only a little bit of changes are there here and there. So those things February end we are going to learn, and the certification course will be there. And tomorrow we are going to learn about templating. But before going to tomorrow, let us do the last part, and which is there is a fetch API. So let us complete that. Okay, so JSPin I'll do, and JavaScript and output I'll do, and I'm going to do async await fetch, and here I'm going to have a function fetch users is there, and then here let's call this fetch users I'll do. And then const. So first thing is that I will have to add the word async here, and then there is a fetch API in the browser. We are going to use that. That's equal to await and fetch, and I'm going to use that JSON placeholder like this users endpoint. We're going to use this, raw data like this. It gives the user. So I'm going to use this endpoint. Users endpoint I'm going to use. And as with fetch API, we don't get the data like at that moment only. We have to use like const data equal to await press dot json I'll do, and then let. Okay, so we are going to use somewhat same concept which we have here. Let us copy this. Let what is happening? Let output equal to like this, some same thing. And then post, we don't have anything post, so we have this data. So data dot for each, we are going to have data dot for each, and instead of post I will take it as item, and it is item. Okay, I think I put insert or something. Item equal to output plus equal to h4. Okay, and it is item dot name, email, all these things are there. So it is item, it is item dot name, item dot email is there, and then everything is okay. Document dot body dot inner html, and fetch users. And this fetch actually we are going to use the in the node.js code also. I will show that thing in the node.js code also. Sometimes you can use the front end kind of code also in a way. So run with js and it will show me everything. Okay, it will show me everything, all those things it is going to show from the endpoint. So this is how we use the async await. This is the inbuilt thing. Okay, so this is done, and actually we'll end today here only, and tomorrow, as I have told, tomorrow we are going to build a node.js app with the final space API, and doing that we'll learn async js and templating also. Okay, so we are going to learn that tomorrow. Okay, and lastly we are going to learn about the express, how to develop the express app in node.js, which is very much important because express is the main way to do it, do everything. Okay, so that is there, and with this I'll end today here. Hope every one of you have filled the attendance form, and please do subscribe to my channel, please do like this video so that I can help you become a web app developer, which is my goal. And if you're not in any one of my group, please do join one of my groups. Okay, I pass a lot of things there. Okay, thank you all, and I'll see you on tomorrow at the same time.